I'd love to kind of come into like a tangible place of how can people, if they're listening to this, drive in or taking a walk or something, how can they start to develop a deeper relationship with their own mouths and their teeth and their tongues and the microflora and their, I don't know, their breath and, what can people be looking for with themselves, with their partners, with their family, with their kids? And, first, I guess the starting point of that, what are indications that we can be looking for? And then from there is what are some at-home things that we can do to start to, come back into balance?
That's a good question. So you think, as you so that I get it correctly, first of all, you should know what has been done. Like, how is your mouth presenting right now? Do you have perfect, healthy teeth? And have never been to see the dentist for any drilling or removing of teeth, like you, for example. For you, it's more like, okay, how can I prevent cavities? How can I prevent going to the dentist at all? How can I have the perfect oral microbiome, perfect gum? Because gum is really important. Gum is outside, skin is outside body, like your skin or like your intestines. It's a protection barrier. But if you have bleeding gums or like cut it open, it's kind of like leaky gut already in your mouth. I call it leaky gum. So it's really important that you also have your gum needs to be clean and not bleeding all the time. So if you're healthy, you should...
So floss, would that be...
I'm not a big fan. So really? I'm just assuming that you have perfect teeth and you never have been done... There's no dental work done, right? You have all your wisdom teeth. We just assume it.
I had orthodontic work. I had braces. And I had an upper palate expander.
That's it.
Yeah.
No fillings.
No fillings. I still have a very high palate, which is, I think they call it like... What do they call that? There's a term for it. It's like...
It's just because you can see it on your face. Your face is like quite long and square.
Yeah.
It's not as wide.
Yeah.
And you tall guys, it's normal. I have a high palate too.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a degenerative thing, but not too bad. So you have perfect healthy teeth. I don't recommend flossing for perfect healthy teeth.
Really?
Why? Most like in nature, why would you do? Where's the floss on the tree? Would you use a grass or whatever? Maybe if something gets stuck in your teeth and you need to get it out, yes, then you maybe need a floss or you need a toothpick or whatever. But for prevention of tooth decay, for a healthy microbiome and healthy teeth, it makes no sense for most people because it's also quite diligent to use it. You have to be really skilled. Mostly, if you use it, you just like basically pull it through. And most of the time you will bleed a little bit afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And what I see, if you open up, that's like doing like every day having a little micro cut in your arm. You would never do this because okay, bacteria will go in there, right? But you open up your gum tissue, which has a huge microbiome in your mouth every day, just a little bit because of bleeding, because you want to clean in between your teeth, which if you're all healthy and have a good lifestyle makes no sense. Yeah, because you don't prevent tooth decay by flossing.
Interesting.
You prevent tooth decay by your lifestyle and nutrition. That's it. I don't even need to brush my teeth with my current form of diet or nutrition.
Right.
And neither had somebody that Weston Price was seeing back 100 years ago. There was no toothbrushes.
Correct.
So, but if you had like tons of dental work done, you had fillings, amalgam fillings, you have root canals, you have crown work, you have implants, it's totally changing. Then you probably need to floss.
Right.
So it's really different. It's really in between. But for prevention, your nutrition and your micronutrients are key to get it. Yeah, because it's like what dentists say is you should use the floss to get rid of the biofilm. And because there's bacteria in there, they will eat your food and then destroy your enamel. Like, make it simple. They eat sugar, and then there will be acidity, and then there is a hole in your tooth. It's not that simple. It's a nice story that we learn when we were kids, but it's not quite correct. And what happens is, if your saliva or if your nutrition is off, you have tons of sugar spikes, insulin, and your whole pH level in your mouth will change all the time. And obviously it gets probably more acidic. Also, you have tons of nutritional deficiencies. and mainly minerals, all these things. And then what the body does, if it has a deficiency, mineral deficiency basically, it takes it from your teeth and from your bone. It's kind of like an osteoporosis of your teeth. If you get this initial tooth decay, which we call white spot lesion as a dentist, this is something that you can see on a tiny X-ray. Sometimes dentists will do this once a year just to see if there's something to drill. That's the cavity. It's a decay still in the enamel, in the hard part of your tooth. Then it's to be decided: are we going to monitor this, or are we going to drill it already? A biological dentist would never drill it. They would say, okay, here's been some kind of deficiency. Maybe let's see how you eat. Maybe you have too much of carbohydrates a day. Maybe you're missing key proteins and minerals, whatever. Let's just do this, and then we will see in years' time, did it even go back or did it stay the same? We would never drill, because as soon as you drill, you have a bigger hole. And then we call it the dental career starts.
That makes sense. What about so? Oh, do you have more on that, or
no?
What? So that's really interesting. And what about? Is all breath created equal? Is there ever bad breath that's just like, oh, they just got shitty breath, or is it, if you have bad breath, is that always an indication that there's something up at a deeper level?
Not just at the deeper level. So bad breath for somebody like you had no previous dental work done, it's probably related to some sort of dysbiosis. Maybe you ate too much in the day before. Maybe you couldn't fully digest it because your digestion stopped in the middle of the night, and then you maybe have a bit of a weird breath. If it's not ongoing. If it's ongoing, I would look into some sort of microbiome issues, maybe dysbiosis. But if you had dental work done, if you had previous amalgams, root canals, periodontitis, gum disease, then it really smells like ass sometimes, and really, really bad. And it goes so bad, it smells kind of like probably if you go to the sewer in a bigger city. And this is really indicative for, obviously, a dysbiotic microbiome because of toxins. There's tons of inflammation going on at the gum level, even at the bone level. Periodontitis is if the gingivitis or the inflammation, the chronic inflammation on your gum, if it's bleeding all the time, it gets further and further inside in the bone. Then it's called periodontitis, meaning a chronic inflammation of your of the apparatus that holds your teeth, which is the bone. And this is really, really smelling bad. Imagine a wound that never heals. Really smells bad, right?
Yeah.
But it's in your mouth, and nobody looks there. And your mouth is actually not part of your body. At least that's how most dentists look at it. Or that's how we are trained. I don't want to criticize my dental colleagues, not at all. But I think we need to go to the next level here and teach immunology, toxicology, and all these various things to connect the mouth to the whole body, which we don't in university.
Yeah, and so I'd imagine the breath conversation, assuming a person hasn't gone through a bunch of previous work, that they're basically healthy mouths. I'd imagine it's likely a similar diet and maybe lifestyle approach in general, outside of just the food that you're putting into your face. I'd imagine that the person that needs to floss versus doesn't need to floss, that same diet that would be producing, non-odorous, pleasant breath. I'd imagine that would be the same diet.
It depends. So you know that in the field of health optimization, or let's say in the health space, there are various mindsets when it comes to nutrition. And with mindset, I mean stuff like keto, stuff like paleo, stuff like high carb, low carb, whatever. There's so many names. You can even go be a vegan, ketogenic food type lover. When if you go too long on a ketogenic diet, your breath will change and you smell really bad because of the ketosis. You smell like, I think it smells like the stuff that women use to get rid of their nail polish, and that smells really bad. So it is commonly a keto diet is commonly referred to as being healthy, at least in our sector. I don't think it is for long term. I think it's a good tool to have in your toolbox.
Yeah.
I use it not too heavily. I did it a long time. Personally, I tried everything, but I wouldn't say it's a sustainable form of nutrition. But then you will have a bad breath. But I think what you were referring to was if you have a general healthy diet and you eat whole foods and you know how to use the right nutrients, you eat organic and local and good meats and stuff, you probably don't need to floss and you probably don't need to clean your teeth, and you probably will smell good and your teeth will feel like they clean all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas when you drink a Coke, within a minute you have this fur on your teeth. You can really feel the biofilm going on the tooth, and bacteria will go there. So if you eat tons of tacos a day, or also go to fast food places, and like I ate when I was a kid, then it's different. Then you're probably prone to having bad smell, and you will like ferment foods in your mouth already. And softer foods will stick heavier to your teeth than harder foods. If you eat a steak and some asparagus, or maybe steak and whatever white rice, whatever comes to mind, or any sort of vegetable, you probably won't have to clean.
What are some of the key vitamin mineral deficiencies Western culture typically presents that causes issues, orthodontic issues or
First of all, it's a general lack of amino acids. Protein is the most common deficiency for everybody, especially obviously for vegan folks out there that don't know how to get their nutrients from plants, and that it's a bit more difficult. That's the first one, always protein and basically essential amino acids that your body tries to get through digestion from animal or plant-based proteins. Then second is obviously it's a hormone. It's called vitamin D3. You produce it in the sunlight.
Yeah.
In Texas, it's probably easier to get to sun, whereas where I live in Germany, we at least have to supplement for 6 months out of the year. Otherwise, it's too dark. So vitamin D3, magnesium, zinc, and proteins, omega-3 fatty acids. The basics is what's missing. AD, like the fat-soluble vitamins, will miss. And then if you eat more plant-based, you basically have even more deficiencies. Vitamin B12 is crucial. Creatine, choline, carnosine, taurine. All the things that you are missing out when you don't eat animal foods. But you can supplement this if you know that you need it.
And you can actually remineralize teeth if you're having some, how does that process work exactly?
It's two different routes. First of all your teeth are connected to your whole blood supply. That means inside of the tooth is a chamber. It's called the pulp chamber. It's where also your nerve is and your immune system. And obviously, within a minute, the whole blood will also touch your teeth. If you have deficiencies in your blood because your food is lacking, then you can get nutrients for your teeth. Then teeth can start hurting. But obviously, that's a route where minerals and proteins and peptides and whatever go into your teeth from the inside. But also, the saliva is a direct reflection of your nutrition and of your lifestyle and mindset, because your microbiome changes within 3 days in your mouth. So a breastfed baby has a totally different microbiome than a ketogenic person, for example. And the saliva obviously has more protein and peptides in it if you eat more proteins and peptides. It will also be less fluid if you have too much insulin going on and too much blood sugar dysregulations or management problems. For example, diabetes person, a lot of times people on type 2 diabetes have a dry mouth because it's totally related to insulin resistance. And dry mouth is really bad for your digestion, but also really bad for the teeth because then they get brittle. Because teeth will be remineralized after every meal, basically from that miracle liquid called saliva. And if the saliva is not there, or if it's depleted because your nutrition is depleted in your lifestyle, it doesn't work as well.